Hey Midnights. Thank you for listening to Midnight Overdose. Where are you listening from? Our next topic, getting to know the beautiful Linda Moulton Howe. Linda Moulton Howe is an American investigative journalist and documentary filmmaker renowned for her extensive work in ufology and anomalous phenomena, including alien abductions. Her research often posits an extraterrestrial presence interacting with Earth and a government cover-up of this reality. Born in Boise, Idaho, Linda Moulton Howe's background in journalism and communication laid the foundation for her later investigative pursuits. She earned a BA in English Literature from the University of Colorado and a master's degree in communication from Stanford University. Her early career included work in television news, where she produced and directed documentaries on environmental and medical topics, earning her 3 regional Emmy Awards. This journalistic training in research, interviewing, and visual storytelling profoundly shaped her approach to investigating UFOs and related phenomena. While details of her private life are generally kept separate from her professional work, her public persona is characterized by a persistent and dedicated pursuit of what she believes to be hidden truths, often requiring extensive travel and demanding research. Linda Moulton Howe's motivation for her extensive research into alien abduction and other anomalous phenomena is multifaceted and deeply rooted in her journalistic ethos, propelled by a profound belief in the existence of a suppressed reality. Her primary driver is the conviction that an extraterrestrial presence is actively and directly interacting with Earth and its inhabitants, and that this reality is being deliberately concealed by powerful governmental and military entities. She perceives this as a global cover-up of immense importance, one that fundamentally impacts humanity's understanding of itself and its place in the universe. Her motivation is to serve the public interest by revealing what she believes to be this profound, suppressed truth. Howe is profoundly motivated to document and validate the experiences of individuals who report alien abductions, animal mutilations, and other inexplicable phenomena. She recognizes that these individuals often face ridicule, skepticism, and psychological distress. Her work aims to provide a platform for their testimonies, meticulously collecting their accounts, and identifying patterns and consistencies that she believes lend credibility to their claims. She sees this as a moral imperative to address what she considers a significant societal blind spot. Beyond individual cases, a crucial motivation for Howe is to identify overarching patterns and connections between seemingly unrelated anomalous phenomena. She believes that animal mutilations, human abductions, crop circles, and even certain alleged government programs are not isolated occurrences but are components of a larger, intelligent design or agenda. Her research seeks to construct a cohesive narrative that explains these diverse events as manifestations of non-human intelligence interacting with Earth. Howe's investigations are driven by a deep concern for the long-term implications of this alleged extraterrestrial presence on human evolution, environment, and destiny. She explores questions about the motivations of these entities, for example, genetic manipulation, resource acquisition, environmental warnings, and what their activities might mean for humanity's sovereignty and future survival. This underlying concern gives her research a sense of urgency and purpose. While operating outside mainstream scientific and governmental frameworks, Howe's work is ultimately motivated by a desire to force official acknowledgement and serious scientific investigation of these phenomena. By continually presenting what she considers compelling evidence and testimonies, she aims to break down barriers of denial and skepticism, advocating for an open dialogue and transparent disclosure that she believes is vital for humanity's progress. In essence, Linda Moulton Howe's motivation is rooted in a fervent, journalistic pursuit of what she perceives as a hidden, cosmic truth, driven by her principles to inform the public about realities she believes are deliberately concealed and profoundly impactful. Howe's work on alien abduction is central to her overall research, with extensive focus on the human abduction phenomenon, gathering eyewitness testimonies and alleged abductee accounts. She explores common elements reported by abductees, such as forced medical examinations, often with a focus on reproductive systems, telepathic communication, and experiences within alien crafts. These accounts frequently describe beings performing procedures with advanced medical instruments. She highlights recurring themes like the retrieval of human genetic material, creation of hybrids, and the implantation of devices. A significant aspect of her abduction research posits an ongoing extraterrestrial hybridization program, where alien entities are combining human and alien DNA to create new life forms. She presents numerous testimonies from abductees who report seeing hybrid children and feeling a parental connection to them. Howe explores the nature of alien communication, which is often described as telepathic. She suggests that these interactions can profoundly affect the abductee's consciousness, sometimes imparting information about environmental crises or humanity's future. While relying heavily on testimony, Howe also investigates alleged physical evidence associated with abductions, such as unexplained marks on bodies, electromagnetic disturbances, and strange physical anomalies in the environment where abductions reportedly occur. She documents the psychological and physiological after-effects reported by abductees, including post-traumatic stress, unusual knowledge, and heightened sensitivities. A central tenet of Howe's research is the belief that the U.S. government, and potentially other world governments, is aware of and actively concealing the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence and their interactions with humanity. She speculates about alleged collaborations or non-disclosure agreements between human authorities and alien entities, which she believes extend to the abduction phenomenon. Based on the numerous abductee testimonies and alleged insider accounts she has gathered and analyzed over decades, Linda Moulton Howe frequently discusses specific types of alien beings she believes are involved in interactions with Earth. Her perspective on their existence and origins is firmly rooted in the consistency and detail of these collected narratives. The Greys, or Zeta Reticulans, are perhaps the most commonly reported and central to her abduction research. Howe describes them, based on abductee accounts, as typically small, 3 to 4 feet tall, with large heads, large dark eyes, small mouths, no visible ears or noses, and slender bodies. She often portrays them as the primary operators in abduction scenarios, particularly those involving genetic manipulation and the hybridization program. Their purported origin is from the Zeta Reticuli star system, a binary star system located approximately 39 light-years from Earth, found in the constellation Reticulum. Howe attributes their reality to the overwhelming consistency of detailed descriptions across thousands of independent abductee testimonies from around the world. She argues that the recurring physiological traits, reported behaviors, and genetic manipulation agendas described by unrelated individuals suggest a shared, non-human experience. Their motives are frequently presented as a struggle for species survival, potentially seeking new genetic material or a suitable new environment, or simply engaging in scientific study. Howe suggests a pragmatic, often unemotional, approach from these beings. The Nordics, or human-like aliens, are described as resembling humans, often tall, fair-skinned, with blonde hair and blue eyes, and sometimes appearing to have a benevolent or guiding role. While a singular star system is less consistently cited for the Nordics, some accounts compiled by Howe and others in ufology suggest origins from star systems like the Pleiades or other distant star clusters in the constellation Taurus. Similar to the Greys, Howe relies on the consistency of abductee testimonies detailing encounters with these benevolent, human-like figures. The fact that these descriptions appear independently in various accounts leads her to conclude they are real entities, often perceived as more spiritually evolved or concerned with humanity's well-being. Their interactions are often reported as telepathic and sometimes more empathetic. Though less frequently central to her core abduction narrative than the Greys, Howe has, on occasion, discussed accounts of reptilian beings, typically described as tall, scaly, and sometimes with reptilian features. Speculated origins for reptilians vary widely in ufology, from Alpha Draconis, leading to the term Draconians, to being ancient, hidden inhabitants of Earth. While fewer in number compared to Grey accounts, Howe gives credence to the specific and unsettling nature of these testimonies, particularly when they align with broader narratives of alleged clandestine control or manipulation. Very occasionally, Howe touches upon accounts of insectoid-like beings, which are among the more unusual and disturbing descriptions by alleged abductees. No consistent specific stellar origin is typically associated with insectoid beings in her research. They are often presented as more exotic and perhaps from very different evolutionary paths within the vastness of the cosmos. The existence of these beings is inferred from the rare but consistent and detailed reports from abductees who describe such encounters. Howe's view is that these different types of beings likely represent distinct species or factions, possibly with varying agendas and levels of interaction with humanity. She often emphasizes the complex and sometimes contradictory nature of these descriptions, suggesting that humans are only beginning to grasp the full scope of extraterrestrial diversity and purpose. She attempts to present these alien types not as fictional constructs, but as entities whose characteristics emerge consistently across a large number of independent testimonies. Beyond alien abductions and animal mutilations, Linda Moulton Howe has developed a significant fascination with Antarctica, presenting it as a potential hotbed of hidden secrets related to extraterrestrial presence and ancient civilizations. Her interest was particularly piqued by alleged whistleblowers and various anomalous discoveries. Howe has dedicated significant attention to reports and satellite imagery purporting to show pyramid-like structures or other artificial formations beneath the ice or exposed on the surface of Antarctica. While mainstream geological explanations typically attribute these to natural formations, Nenotox or erosional features. Howe investigates claims that they are evidence of ancient, intelligently designed structures, potentially built by extraterrestrial or advanced pre-human civilizations. A key aspect of her Antarctic research involves interviews with individuals who claim to have military or scientific backgrounds with direct experience or knowledge of anomalies on the continent. She has spoken with alleged Navy personnel, contractors, and intelligence community members who report seeing massive openings or holes in the ice described as entrances to vast underground or sub-ice facilities, unusual technology or craft being transported or hidden, and ancient, non-human artifacts or structures. Howe treats these testimonies seriously, seeking commonalities and corroborating details, though they often remain unverified by external sources. Howe has heavily featured and discussed the role of remote viewing in exploring Antarctica's hidden past. She frequently cites the work of prominent remote viewers, particularly those associated with the former government program, such as Joseph McMoneagle or other unnamed military remote viewers. Their alleged remote viewing sessions of Antarctica reportedly indicated vast, ancient structures and cities under the ice described as non-human in origin and built with advanced technology. They allegedly saw an ancient civilization, possibly non-human, that existed in Antarctica prior to the last ice age, when the continent was warmer. Some reports pointed to the presence of large, disc-shaped objects or advanced technology beneath the ice, hinting at crashed extraterrestrial vehicles or ancient alien bases. Some sessions even alluded to a powerful energy source or portal located in or under the Antarctic ice. Howe integrates these remote viewing reports with alleged whistleblower testimonies and anomalous satellite imagery to build her case for Antarctica as a location of profound extraterrestrial and ancient secrets, actively suppressed by global powers. Howe's research is extensively documented in her books and various media productions. Her book, An Alien Harvest, Further Evidence Linking Animal Mutilations and Human Abductions to Alien Life Forms, 1989, 2nd ed. 2015, delves into her investigations of animal mutilations and extensively connects them to human abduction experiences, positing a unified extraterrestrial agenda behind both. The second edition was awarded Best Nonfiction by the Arizona and New Mexico Southwest Book Association in December 2015. Her 2 volumes, Glimpses of Other Realities, Volume 1, Facts and Eyewitnesses, 1993, and Volume 2, High Strangeness, 1998, are cornerstones of her work, compiling numerous eyewitness testimonies, alleged military and intelligence insider accounts, and alleged physical evidence related to non-human interactions with Earth life. These volumes contain detailed discussions of alien abduction experiences, alien medical procedures, the nature of these encounters, and the alleged agendas of the beings involved. Mysterious Lights and Crop Circles, 2002, focuses on her investigations into complex crop formations and associated mysterious light phenomena. Overall, Howe's books have achieved significant recognition and success within the ufology and paranormal research communities, where they are highly regarded for their comprehensive compilation of testimonies and her persistent investigation. While they are not mainstream bestsellers, their impact within their niche is substantial, cementing her reputation as a leading figure in the field. Linda Moulton Howe is known for her persistent and often direct statements on the subject. She often states, "I am convinced that one or more alien intelligences are affecting this planet," reflecting her foundational belief in an active extraterrestrial presence. A central tenet often reiterated in her interviews and presentations is, the phenomenon of alien abduction, whether it's literal or something else, is profoundly impacting people's lives and needs to be taken seriously. Referring to the complex and often murky nature of the UFO phenomenon, she has stated, "It's a hall of mirrors with a quicksand floor." On the motivations of the alleged abducting entities, she has said, "We have human beings that are being abducted, and from all the evidence that I've gathered, genetic materials are being exchanged and things are happening to create some sort of hybrid species." This overarching statement captures her fundamental belief in the non-human involvement and the critical importance of understanding its human impact. She also asserts, this phenomenon is not going away. It is impacting a significant percentage of the human population, and ignoring it is irresponsible, reflecting her call for greater attention and seriousness from mainstream society and science. She emphasizes the systematic nature of the hybridization efforts, stating, "The evidence strongly points to a carefully orchestrated, long-term genetic program involving human and non-human biology." On alien communication, she notes, "The communication is primarily telepathic, and often what is conveyed is information that is difficult for the human mind to process or accept, about our future, about our environment, or about their purpose." She offers a nuanced view of alien ethics. These beings are not necessarily good or evil in human terms. They operate on a different set of ethics and priorities, often for their own survival or advancement, which can be unsettling for humans. Finally, she underscores the profound significance of her work. This is the most important story in human history, because it changes everything we think we know about ourselves and our place in the universe. Linda Moulton Howe has frequently discussed the TRAPPIST-1 star system since its significant discovery of 7 Earth-sized exoplanets, 3 of which are in the habitable zone, was announced in February 2017. Her interest in TRAPPIST-1 is rooted in her broader investigation into extraterrestrial life and the potential for advanced civilizations. Upon the announcement, Howe quickly highlighted TRAPPIST-1 on her earthfiles.com platform and in her radio appearances. Her immediate fascination stemmed from the sheer number of potentially habitable planets orbiting a dwarf star so relatively close to Earth, approximately 39 light-years away in the constellation Aquarius. She emphasized that the discovery dramatically increased the statistical probability of life, and potentially intelligent life, existing beyond Earth. While not directly asserting that any specific alien race known through abduction accounts, like the Greys or Nordics, originates from TRAPPIST-1, Howe has presented it as a prime candidate for a stellar origin for extraterrestrial visitors. Her line of reasoning often follows: if there are multiple habitable planets in one system, the chances of life evolving are higher. If life evolves, intelligent life capable of interstellar travel becomes more plausible, and given the relatively close proximity, it makes TRAPPIST-1 a logical potential point of origin for entities that might be visiting Earth. Howe has discussed the unique characteristics of the TRAPPIST-1 system, such as the tidally locked nature of the planets, one side perpetually facing the star, the other in darkness. She has speculated about how life or civilizations might adapt to such extreme environmental conditions, perhaps developing technologies to harness energy from temperature differentials or living in the twilight zones. This aligns with her broader interest in the diversity of potential alien environments and adaptations. Beyond abductions and animal mutilations, Howe's investigations extend to other high strangeness phenomena, including crop circles and mysterious lights, which she often links to extraterrestrial activity or an advanced, unknown intelligence. Howe has also spoken about the potential dangers of advanced AI and robotics, sometimes linking these concerns to alleged extraterrestrial agendas. Notably, in a February 2018 speech at the Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles, she recounted a story, allegedly from a former Marine working for the CIA, that 4 AI robots killed 29 Japanese scientists in a laboratory. She claimed this incident was covered up to protect the robotics company and because the government desired AI robot soldiers. It's important to note that this claim has been widely debunked by fact-checkers, with no credible reports from mainstream news organizations or scientific bodies supporting such an event. Howe's inclusion of such accounts reflects her consistent approach of presenting whistleblower testimonies, even those that lack external corroboration, as potential insights into hidden realities. Howe's methodology primarily involves collecting eyewitness testimonies. She conducts in-depth interviews with individuals who claim to have experienced alien abductions, UFO sightings, or witnessed anomalous events. Her background as a documentary filmmaker informs her approach, often presenting narratives through interviews and compiled evidence, photographs, drawings, documents. A hallmark of her work is the attempt to connect disparate phenomena, for example, animal mutilations, crop circles, abductions, and alleged government secrets, into a larger, overarching narrative of extraterrestrial involvement. While it is difficult to give an exact, precise number for every single interview Linda Moulton Howe has ever conducted across her decades-long career, her work is characterized by an extensive and continuous process of gathering testimonies. Her published books, An Alien Harvest, Glimpses of Other Realities Volumes 1 and 2, contain hundreds of pages of detailed accounts from dozens, if not hundreds, of individuals. She specifically highlights that her research involves interviews with alleged alien abductees, eyewitnesses to UFOs and anomalous phenomena, farmers and ranchers who have experienced animal mutilations, alleged whistleblowers/insiders from military, intelligence, and scientific backgrounds, and remote viewers. Beyond her books, her daily work on earthfiles.com and her frequent appearances on radio shows like Coast to Coast AM involve presenting new interviews and updates from additional sources. She has consistently maintained an open call for individuals with anomalous experiences or information to come forward. Based on the sheer volume of detailed case studies presented in her books, articles, and radio archives, it can be estimated that Linda Moulton Howe has conducted hundreds to potentially well over 1,000 individual interviews with distinct interviewees over the course of her career spanning more than 4 decades. Many of these interviews are extensive, sometimes involving multiple sessions with the same individual. She has presented the accounts of hundreds of unique interviewees across her various platforms, compiling their narratives into recurring themes and alleged patterns. She emphasizes that the sheer volume and independent consistency of these accounts are what drives her conviction. Linda Moulton Howe has garnered a significant following and support within the ufology and paranormal communities, particularly among the ufology community at large. Many independent UFO researchers, investigators, and experiencers view her as a highly credible and dedicated figure. Experiencers and alleged abductees often find validation and understanding in Howe's research. Her commitment to seriously listening to and documenting their stories makes her a trusted voice for this community. Online communities and audiences of her platform Earth Files form a strong, loyal subscriber base that actively supports her work. She is a frequent guest on popular alternative media outlets and podcasts, most notably Coast to Coast AM with George Noory, where she is a highly anticipated guest. Howe frequently appears as an expert or investigative journalist in certain documentaries and TV series that explore paranormal or ancient astronaut themes, such as History Channel's Ancient Aliens and the Unexplained, as well as The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch and sightings. Many fellow ufologists and authors acknowledge her contributions. Her books feature forewords by respected ufologists like Jacques Vallée and Jim Marrs. She was also honored with the Lucius Farish Foundation Award for Excellence in Research and Productions concerning the UFO phenomena in 2013. Her supporters often commend her for her courageous investigative journalism in an area often dismissed by mainstream media, and for her consistency in pursuing what she believes is the most important story in human history. Linda Moulton Howe's work, like much of ufology, faces significant criticism primarily from mainstream science, skeptical organizations, and some journalists who adhere to more conventional evidentiary standards. The core reason for their criticisms is the lack of empirical, falsifiable evidence. Critics argue that Howe's claims, particularly concerning alien abductions, government cover-ups, and the specific activities of alien races, lack verifiable, testable, or repeatable empirical evidence that would satisfy scientific methodology. For instance, while she presents testimonies of alleged alien implants, these are rarely, if ever, submitted for independent scientific analysis to confirm their extraterrestrial origin or unusual composition. Her research also faces criticism for its over-reliance on anecdotal accounts and testimonies, sometimes collected through hypnotic regression. Skeptics argue that human memory is fallible, suggestible, and prone to confabulation, and hypnotic regression is viewed with extreme skepticism. The consistency she observes in testimonies can be explained by shared cultural narratives, media influence, or psychological phenomena. Joe Nickell, a prominent skeptical investigator, has specifically described Howe as a credulous journalist for her acceptance of such accounts. Her work is also criticized for the promotion of conspiracy theories. Critics argue these theories are often unfalsifiable, meaning no amount of contrary evidence can disprove them, as the alleged cover-up can always be invoked as an explanation for the lack of evidence. This makes subjective evaluation impossible. Claims of secret documents or whistleblowers without concrete, verifiable proof are met with skepticism. For example, John Greer, author of the UFO phenomenon, noted Howe presented no evidence for claims of secret government documents other than the very ambiguous evidence provided by rotting cow carcasses. Critics also point to the misinterpretation of phenomena and lack of alternative explanations. They suggest that phenomena Howe attributes to alien activity, for example, cattle mutilations, crop circles, visible light phenomena, can often be explained by natural causes, human intervention, hoaxes, or misinterpretations of mundane events. Nickell, for example, has stated that photos Howe published purporting to show mysterious energy were simply misinterpretations of photographic accidents. Finally, the absence of mainstream scientific engagement means her work is largely conducted outside the peer review process, leading critics to dismiss her conclusions as pseudoscience. Some critics also argue that Howe's presentations sometimes lean towards sensationalism and uncritical acceptance of sources without robust corroboration. In summary, the core of the criticism against Linda Moulton Howe's work stems from its reliance on anecdotal and non-falsifiable evidence, its strong embrace of conspiracy theories, and its divergence from standard scientific methodologies. While her supporters see her as a brave truth seeker, her critics view her work as unsubstantiated speculation that contributes to misinformation. Linda Moulton Howe is perhaps most widely known for her consistent and emphatic claims regarding the involvement of governments, particularly the U.S. government, in the alien topic. Her perspective is not merely that the government is aware of extraterrestrial presence, but that it has been actively and deliberately engaged in a decades-long, multifaceted cover-up of this reality from the public. Her core assertions about government involvement include active knowledge and suppression. Howe unequivocally states that the U.S. government, along with other global powers, has possessed definitive knowledge of extraterrestrial life, advanced non-human technologies, and their interactions with Earth for many decades, possibly since the mid-20th century. This knowledge is not theoretical but based on direct evidence, including crashed UFOs and retrieved non-human entities. She asserts that this information has been intentionally and vigorously suppressed. The Deep Black Project and MJ-12. She often refers to a Deep Black Project or a continuum of secret operations, often invoking the alleged Majestic 12, MJ-12, group or similar covert organizations. These entities, she claims, are responsible for managing the extraterrestrial issue outside of public and congressional oversight. Reverse engineering and advanced technology. A significant aspect of her government involvement narrative is the belief that the government has been actively engaged in reverse engineering recovered alien craft. This alleged program is said to have led to the development of highly advanced, classified technologies that remain hidden from the public, explaining various technological leaps witnessed in military aerospace and other fields. Non-disclosure agreements with alien entities. Howe frequently delves into the controversial idea that certain human governments, particularly the U.S., entered into non-disclosure agreements or treaties with specific alien factions. These alleged agreements are sometimes presented as quid pro quo arrangements. In exchange for alien technology, the aliens are permitted to conduct certain activities on Earth, such as genetic experimentation and human abductions, without interference, or at least without public acknowledgement. Control of information and public perception. She argues that the government employs sophisticated methods to control the narrative around UFOs and extraterrestrials. This includes disinformation campaigns, ridicule of witnesses, and the infiltration of ufology groups to steer public opinion away from the truth. The recent acknowledgement of unidentified aerial phenomenons, unidentified aerial phenomena, by the Pentagon is viewed by Howe as a controlled, limited disclosure, carefully managed to release only what they deem acceptable, rather than the full truth. Impact on human sovereignty and future. For Howe, the government's continued secrecy has profound implications for humanity's sovereignty and future. She implies that by withholding this critical information, the public is being denied the opportunity to understand the true nature of the universe and the challenges posed by these non-human interactions, such as the alien hybridization program. In essence, Linda Moulton Howe sees governments not as bewildered observers of the UFO phenomenon, but as active participants in a deliberate, long-standing cover-up that has shaped human history and continues to impact its future, all while concealing profound secrets about extraterrestrial life and technology. She often states, "The biggest secret on this planet is not about the machines, it's about the biological entities and their agendas," highlighting her belief that the government's cover-up extends to the very nature and intentions of the aliens themselves. And directly on the cover-up, she asserts, there is a deep black project, a continuum, that has kept this information hidden from the public for decades. They know, and they are not telling us. These statements encapsulate her strong conviction in government complicity and intentional secrecy.